This is my biofuel video project. So I did biodiesel. What is biodiesel? Biodiesel is a biodegradable and renewable fuel, also referred to as B100 or neat diesel. It's used to fuel compression ignition engines, and it's named after Rudolf Diesel, the inventor of the diesel engine, after he experimented with using vegetable oil to fuel engines. How is it cultivated? Biodiesel is produced using oil or fat and alcohol. The most commonly used oils or fats for biofuel production in the U.S. include vegetable oil, recycled cooking oil, and yellow grease from restaurants, and animal fats from meat processing plants. Algae is also a potential source because of the small pockets of fat that help it float. This fat can be harvested to use as the fat source in the production of biodiesel. The most commonly used alcohols are methanol and ethanol. How is it produced? Biodiesel is produced through the process of transesterification, a process in which esters and glycerol is produced as a result of oil or fat reacting with an alcohol. A 3-to-1 molar ratio of alcohol and triglycerides is needed. The reaction can be catalyzed with alkalis, enzymes, or acids. Alkali catalyzed transesterification is the most commonly used for commercial production because it's the most efficient and it's the fastest. Biodiesel is most commonly catalyzed by potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. Development status. Biodiesel blends up to B5, which is 5% biodiesel and 95% petroleum diesel, is approved for use in diesel infrastructure. It meets all the specifications for the American Society for Testing Materials. It's subject to the same codes and regulations as any other transportation fuel, and there are stations that offer biodiesel widely available across the U.S. Some states actually have laws in place that require petroleum diesel to contain a certain percentage of biodiesel. Impact on carbon footprint. The life cycle analysis, which was completed by the Argonne National Laboratory, reported that B100 produces 74% less emissions than petroleum diesel. The life cycle analysis determines the environmental impact of all the stages of a product development. So that includes extraction materials, processing, manufacturing, distribution, usage, and disposal. Some people argue that biodiesel is carbon neutral because it requires harvesting plants like soybeans and palm for the oil, which those plants absorb the CO2. So it's kind of like canceling each other out. Economic impact. The cost of production of biodiesel is greater than the cost of production of petroleum diesel. This is mainly due to the production cost and the raw materials that are needed to produce the biodiesel. According to the Department of Agriculture's report on the impact biodiesel has on Minnesota's economy, every time 1 million gallons of biodiesel is produced, it supports 73 jobs and contributes $22.8 million to the state's total economic output. Efforts to communicate to the public. Both federal and state governments have passed laws and incentives to help build the market for biodiesel. The National Biodiesel Board has advertised biodiesel with a campaign, the tagline, Better, Cleaner Now. This campaign aims to educate the consumers and policymakers about the environmental benefits of biodiesel. My analysis. After analyzing the data, I believe the best next step is increasing the number of biodiesel fueling stations available in each state in the U.S. The majority of biodiesel fueling stations are located in Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois. All the other states have less than 50 biodiesel fueling stations. Plan of action. If funding were not an obstacle, I would definitely build more biodiesel fueling stations in each state, especially in states and metropolitan areas that use the most fuel, such as Texas, California, and Florida. I think these states should have easy access to biodiesel fueling stations. I also believe that providing advertisements and campaigns at these biodiesel fueling stations would be beneficial to educate the public on the benefits of using biodiesel. And then here are my sources.